Hi everyone, I'm Elizabeth Malillo and I am the author of Written in the Stars. It's my very first romance novel and I'm so excited to be able to share this virtual launch with you today. A few years ago, had this idea of this story in my mind and I never really wrote a book. I'm an accountant by trade and I decided, what the heck? Why don't I try and get this story and this idea that's in my mind into some type of form and be able to share it with all of you? And I'm just so excited that the days finally come where I could actually share my story with you. So the book is called Written in the Stars. Right now, the book is available on Amazon.com through Kindle. We made it very affordable if you're part of any type of Kindle program. We have a reading share. And if not, it's still at an affordable price of $3.99 per e-version. Right now, we are waiting for the hard copy to be proofed and finalized, and we're going to make that available. What we would like to do is set out a prepayment form, and if you would be interested in getting a hard copy of the book, I can get a discount. We could do the pre-order, and we can I can issue the book at an actual physical book signing, book launch party. So that's what I wanted to let you know, and I'm really excited about it. And you will be getting an email in the future if you'd like to participate in that. And we really look forward to actually having a physical book launch. But since right now the only thing we have is the Kindle version, we're only having a virtual launch. Many of you are probably wondering how I even came up with a virtual launch and what does a virtual event really mean? Well, for those of you who don't know, I actually do a lot of running here and there. And from time to time, I get emails asking me if I would like to participate in a virtual race. So I knew the fastest and easiest way to get my book into the world was to do an e-version. Since it is an easy for e-version, you really can't physically sign an electronic book. I decided, why not make it virtual? If you could have a virtual race, why can't you have a virtual book launch? I don't know if anyone else has ever done it, but I'm doing a virtual book launch, and I'm so glad that we are sharing the time today to do so. I wanted to also go through some other ideas. I have some prepared questions, so I'd like to go through some questions for you and respond accordingly. Of course, I would love to hear of any other questions, and if you respond to any of the emails that are going out, we are compiling a list of those questions so that we can respond to them in the future, at a future event. So one of the questions was, what's the trailer and where did you get the idea? Well, I actually saw, when I was researching my book, I saw some book trailers put on some on YouTube videos, and I thought that's really a great marketing tool. There are so many books out there. How is somebody going to know if they would want to read your book? People are really, really busy, and they're going to want to be able to know if they're interested in it. Is it going to be a good read? Is it going to be a fast read? Am I going to be interested in it? Is it going to be entertaining to me? And when you first look at various books online, it's really hard to decide whether you might be interested or not. So I decided to put together this trailer, and I basically taught myself. I prepared the trailer in iMovie, and I was able to gather friends who can contribute to the trailer, and we managed to put the trailer together and film it in a day. All the scenes I wrote out the night before. I had gone quickly to a Stop and Shop and got a few little props, and the next day, a colleague of mine, Jessica Hill, was able to offer her assistance in filming, and I had other friends of mine who volunteered their acting and modeling skills as well to be in the trailer so that I can better better relate to you the idea that I had in the book and demonstrate to you this might be something of interest. I really feel that the book trailer does capture the story of what the book is all about. But even though you'll see the trailer, there is a few little surprises. So the book trailer does tell you a little bit about the story, but just because you see the trailer doesn't mean you really know how it's going to end. And it's a really good book. I thought that it would be great for all age groups. There were grandparents in there. There were people in their 40s. There were children in there. There are two beautiful children that play soccer. And the book is really inspiring regarding relationships with children, relationships with your spouses, relationship with your friends, and relationships with your parents. And when you come into certain life-changing events, how we can go about handling it, and will we see the light at the end of the tunnel? The book is completely fictional. I made it up. I don't know anybody who really had this happen to them, but I did come up with the idea of it because I know so many people who are going through transitions in life, and I just wanted to let everyone know that sometimes we can try to make things happen, but in the end of the day, it's really just written in the stars, and you have to know and count on that. And everything always works out for the best. That's what I really believe. I want to go to another question. I have another question that somebody asked me how I could find the time to write a book when I already have a full-time job, other hobbies, volunteering, a family, etc. I came up with the story in my mind, and then what I did was when I decided that I really wanted to publish, I basically went into an Excel spreadsheet and I outlined the story just in bullet points and came up with basically they turned out to be chapters. And so I knew how I wanted the book to flow a little bit, but I wasn't exactly sure about all the detail. But I did use an Excel spreadsheet. I bulleted it out, and that's how I came up with the chapters of the book. And that's how I started. I basically started with the chapters. And when I was writing the story, when I was going through the chapters, I was just going into more and more detail and more events of what was actually going on in the people who are in the book in their lives. And some of the ideas that I did write down were related to personal experiences I had, and others were just from observation that I've seen happen with other, real life people, and some was just really basically made up. So that was the another question I had. Another question that I was asked is, why did I choose to self-publish as opposed to finding a publisher? From the time that I decided to write my first novel, from the time that I scratched it on the Excel spreadsheet, it took me about 2 to 3 years to get this book done. First, I had to draft it. Then I needed to find somebody who can help me write it because I'm really not a writer, for a romance writer. I'm more of a business writer. And then I had to come up with all the ideas and get all the details into all the chapters of the novel. Then the novel needed to be edited, and then the revisions to the novel needed to be made. And now we got up to the final, I want to publish this book. Well, there are so many people trying to be an author out there that I just did not want to wait another second. I wanted to be a romance novel. I wanted to be an author. I knew I had a whole idea in my head on how I wanted everything to be, and I wanted to be in control of my work, my own work. I wanted to make my trailer and do the book and write the words the way I wanted them done. So that's why I decided to self-publish. I didn't want somebody to be in control of my ideas, and I wanted to get it into the world as fast as it could. Right? It took me 3 years. If I had to go for a publish, we wouldn't be having this conversation today. Another question was, somebody asked me if do I think that they'd make this book into a movie. I always did kind of see that this book could be a movie. It could be, maybe a film that you can go to the movies with on a weekend and be, a chick flick, or maybe something on the Hallmark or Lifetime channels. But I definitely can see that this book being made into a movie, either in film or in theater. The last question that I have for today is, as you might be familiar with or have seen on the bottom of the book, it says that I'm the author, Elizabeth Melillo, and J.C. Schaefer. J.C. Schaefer is the writer who I was able to find to help me get my words and my thoughts and my ideas and make my dream romance novel into reality. And I interviewed many, many, many different writers, and I made many writers provide samples of their works to me to see if they had the writing style that I really wanted, that I really envisioned for my novel. And when I had met Jason and he had sent me his samples right away, I said, this is the type of writing I'm looking for. This is the type of writing I'm envisioning for my novel. And he was totally on board with my idea. He was very excited about it. We worked really, really well together, and I feel he totally captured the story and how I wanted it portrayed. And I was just really excited that I was able to find somebody to partner with. And that also helped expedite it, because if I had to teach myself how to write romance novels on top of getting the book together, we wouldn't be here once again having this conversation. So I am just so excited that we got to share this virtual launch event today. I'm going to be sending more and more emails out regarding the status of the hardcover, when that will be available. Also, we are working on a Nook version. That will not be available, I guess, for 3 months, because the Amazon Kindle, they get 3 months that we have to have it with them before they'll allow us to offer it in a different version on the Nook. But it will be available by Christmas time in the hard copy version. So please, please, go out there, go buy this book for your loved one, go buy this book for your mother, your girlfriend, your sister. It's really a great book, especially for a woman. It has really positive things in it. And write me back with any other questions, and I look forward to having you and seeing you and signing a book in person for my real physical launch. Thank you for joining me today, and have a great day.